Shalom, Hebrew. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. The I.S.U.P.K is run today by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the rank and the authority to be the leader of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans at this time. The I.S.U.P.K is an organization that is committed to the re-education of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites of the Bible. I want to say Yahweh Basham Yahweh Barakatam to my brothers, Yahweh Shamar Ailatan Basham Yahweh to my sisters. Welcome. Welcome to our Wednesday night law class. All right. Now, almost closing Joshua. Closing off with Joshua. Joshua did all that the Most High told him to do. He was able to accomplish, and not to say accomplish, but to walk that line of obedience, right? He was able to walk that line of obedience when it comes to the Most High, meaning that he didn't do what the Most High told him not to do. He did, all that he did was what the Most High, all that he was able to do. He has accomplished, all that he accomplished was what the Most High told him to do.
Good.
Right. Now, in the days when he was stricken in age and death was certain, was closer to him, he, after being in the land, he called, assembled the people and gave them a charge. What do I mean by giving them a charge?
Give them an order. Salakia.
An order.
Come on.
All right, let's see what charge means. Like when you give somebody a charge. That word is supposed to have several meanings. One is a demand to formally accuse. The noun, a price asked for goods or service. Two, an accusation, typically one formally made against a prisoner brought to trial. All right, not that one. So it's more like a demand.
Good.
So he gave them a reminder on that demand that they should do something. All right, Joshua 23, verse 1.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 23, verse 1. And it came to pass a long time after that the Lord had given rest unto Israel from all their enemies round about, that Joshua waxed old and stricken in age. Verse 2.
Joshua. Continue.
Verse 2. And Joshua called for all Israel, and for their elders, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and said unto them, I am old and stricken in age.
All right, so this is like an old person. I got some more. Just think of your grandparents. Think of one of your grandparents. Say your grandfather. Say your grandfather getting old. You ever been around anyone prior to death? An old person, whether old or sickly person, before they die?
Yeah, but not right up on the point where I'm about to die.
All right. Well, time, sometime before they pass, they have a tendency to call persons.
Okay.
I've witnessed this. They might ask, say, you know, more say so and so. And the person they will and then you go and get the person.
Okay.
And then come and then talk to the person. And then shortly after they speak to the person, they pass on. The person with the most desire to see. But in this case now, it was Joshua desiring to speak to Israel. So he sent for everybody because he don't get old now. And, for some reason, it's like the soul know when it's time. Mm. I've seen persons show these signs. But it's when they're gone, we pick up that and say, oh, that's why they were behaving in that manner.
Okay.
I have a friend we haven't seen for quite a while. And then I buck him one evening in halfway tree. And when I see him, it's like he want to talk to me. And I said to him, say, yeah, well, give me your number, man. We link up. He give me a number, you know. But him still walk behind me and walk with me, go where I was going. And they're talking to me. Me not knowing that. But when I saw him, I was looking in his face, I said, oh, look so. Me not knowing that it's the last time I was going to see him. But obviously his soul knew. Because he's not somebody who would have done something like that. Normally, when I just give you number and say, yeah, we link up. You understand? I want to my schoolmate. But that night, that evening, so till when we realize, say, when I follow me on the talk, I just stop what I was doing and just give him the attention. And then I had a little conversation with him. We stood there for a couple of minutes and we talked. He was in the army. And he got shot and killed less than 2 weeks after that.
While on duty.
No, he was going home. The community was in some kind of war and him walk on the wrong side.
Okay.
That is one of the problems that plagues us as a people. Trust me. That's how it goes. But here, Joshua wasn't in any situation like that. He was in old age. So he called for all Israel and the elders. And if you notice, it was Jacob, when Jacob was blessing the 12, shortly before he died. Same thing too. Yeah. So maybe it's just the way the Most High set it. All right, verse what? 3 or 4?
Verse 3, sir.
All right, verse 3.
Another one can. Verse 3. And ye have seen all that the Lord your God has done unto all these nations because of you. For the Lord your God is he that has fought for you. Verse 4.
All right, so all these battles that you read about from Moses, all the battles under Joshua was done for one purpose, for us, to give us an inheritance in the earth. Now, isn't that a great accomplishment? To have the Most High being you ever hear the term the movers and shakers? The Most High, the true mover and shaker of the earth. Universe, yes, but we don't reach universe yet. Of this earth that we inhabit. And he move and shake this earth for the Israelites, but it's not unconditional. You have to meet a certain criteria. All right. Verse what now?
Verse 4.
Continue.
Verse 4. Behold, I have divided unto you by lot these nations that remain to be an inheritance for your tribes, from Jordan with all the nations that I have cut off, even unto the great sea westward.
All right. So that's the land border from Jordan all the way to the Great Sea. I've reserved that part, that lot of land for you. Now, earlier in the days when it was Abraham, the Genesis leading up to Abraham, it was the same lot of land that the stories were centered around. Yeah. When Abraham was in the land, Abraham bought a place for a burying ground, for a purpose of burial.
God.
See, I think it is the same place that Jacob and Isaac buried. And it was within the land of Canaan, the same land that we came to inherit. So, probably, well, Noah was within the region, but the ark landed somewhere else. But it's the same, because that plot of land is the Most I tell you that that's his inheritance on the earth. In other words, you make something big. You make a house. The size of the houses that you see now, you know, they are huge houses, right?
God.
But you can't live in all the room at the same time. There is one room in that house that you favor. Even though it's you make the entire house, you say, all right, my spot this. This is my bullpen, right? When your virgin come check you, this is your area, right? Well, it's the same way. The Most High made the earth, and he reserved that portion of land, which became known as the Promised Land. In other words, that's why I was able to promise it to Abraham, because Abraham was the one in those days who stood and said, I will continue to worship the Most High God. So the Most High said, right, I'm going to give you this land. I'm going to give your seed this piece of land. Verse what you just read? 4?
Verse 4. No, at verse 5.
Right. Behold, I have divided unto you by lot these nations. Now, in verse 4 here, you see what the Most High gave them? Nations. These nations that remain to be an inheritance for your tribes. So that means what? We inherited people.
God. Servants.
Servants and handmaids.
God.
And the same thing will be done. Before we go to 5, let's see. Servants and handmaids. Let's find that portion. Isaiah 14 and 2.
Gun, everyone, gun. Yes, I read.
Let me find it. Isaiah 14. Can't read.
Gun, everyone, gun. Isaiah chapter 14.
Hold on. For the Lord will have mercy on. Okay, read it. Isaiah
Gun. Isaiah chapter 14 verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
All right, so this one don't happen yet. The one that we read about in that we are go back to Joshua now. So this one that we're reading about here in Joshua was what happened already. So you see, there is nothing new under the sun. Even what the Most High is promising us, not new. You know what would make it new? Guess.
Probably the nation we are ruled over with at this time.
What?
Meaning in take out of Egypt before. No, Egypt is now America.
All right. Same spirit. God. And the Most High work in the spirit. But what would make it new now is if the Christians were correct, that God died for everybody and everybody can be saved. God. Right? That would be new. Because what the Most High is doing now for Israel is what he did for Israel in the time of Joshua. God. So that is why Joshua is said to be a form of Christ. They normally link both. Because Joshua, that we are reading about now, did all that the Most High tell him to do and was able to bring us into the land and show us prosperity. Now, Christ will be doing the same thing. God. So that's why I said Joshua is a form of Christ. I they refer to Christ as Joshua. God. Right. No,
Joshua is Jesus, basically, though, meaning the translation of the word.
Right. Look, I don't remember if Jesus or it's Christ.
No, Christ would be Mashiach or anointed.
Well, yeah, but that's language right there. But as to the meaning, it's same like Christ. But it couldn't be Jesus, you know.
I mean, Savior.
That's more like it.
God.
That's more like it. It wouldn't be the word Jesus, God. Greeks. This time, there was no Greek language. God. No Greek language around. But yeah, Savior is more like it. So 4 says, behold, I have divided unto you by lot these nations that remain, to be an inheritance for your tribes. Same thing we just read about where the Most High plan to do again. Yeah. And why him have to do it again? Because of what? Guess. Why does he have to do it again?
Divide up, give back plots of land and all them things there.
Yeah. Why him have to do it again?
We're not in our homeland again. We scattered across the world.
No, but if I give you something already, why am I have to come back and give you the same thing again?
I will ask it.
Right. Being tough-headed and lose it. God. So what happened? We end up on the street. God. Being open. You know, maybe all these things that is happen to us, maybe the Most High show away on a smaller scale what we really do to ourselves, you know. God. You check it out, we are the most homeless people. We are the most drug addicts. We are the most mental cases. We are the most imprisoned. We are the most killed. Everything that is bad, we tap it. God. Right? Why? Because we give God the most trouble. You know, I said that children, I have one who just give you the most trouble. God. That's us, man. Because all the other nations, you know, him don't care about them and thing, you know. we give him the most trouble. And it's generally the child that you know you have a art too, that you find that everything that he does that he's not supposed to do, you find it annoying. But in our case, it's more than that. We have a covenant, we have a contract with the Most High. And throughout the ages, we have been oppressed by every nation on the face of the earth. And all of them do us the same thing. Try to interpret our contract, which is the covenant, unto us. Tell us that, nah, man, we have a part in it too. Every nation do that. Like the Ethiopians and what's his name? Haile Selassie. You know, since being in the UPK, it's the UPK where me really understand, you know, that the Africans have a physical stench.
Yes, a physical stench.
Yes.
God.
You go against them, you will know.
God.
And this was from the time of we coming out of Egypt. We come out with the stench too, you know, because we mingle with them, you know. Oh, you know that when you look at the laws, how much laws we have about washing? Whole lot. Tell you about if you wash after sex, wash after
dealing with that dead
actually after your daily occurrences, right? Probably that's why we spent 40 years in the desert. We came out with such stench. It took 40 years to come off. I was watching a documentary about a white woman who married an African man, one of them traditional African man. And she went to live with him in the tribe. So they did a document. Of course, they would do a documentary on him because they're wondering why you left civilization to reverse. But whatever was the reason, one thing I found out, all right, during the interview, what came out, these women, when it comes to the monthly, water is scarce amongst them. So when it comes to like the monthly, it's like nothing. They don't sit down anywhere. This pot leave there and can't do nothing about it.
No, nobody no pay no mind.
Right. And what do our law says?
She had clean for 7 days.
Right. And you don't sit where she sit.
Right.
When you look at how the Africans carry themselves, say, oh, so our laws really was made to separate us from their doings. I wanted to find out that documentary and to take out that clip and to do a posting on it, you know. Because even until today, that they carry a stench. And she mentioned it to her in her interview, the white woman. Mentioned it in her interview. You know, say, there is a stench that coming, but once you live with them, you don't really, you kind of get used to it. So probably that was what was happening to us. Being in Egypt for over 400 years, we get used to the stench. The most I said, nah, man, my people stink, man. I can't bring it in the promised land. 40 years for washing off, man. Because it's not only the physical smell we got also their ways, all their customs, their all nasty customs. Like we don't want beard and all them things. But the most I clean us up and gave us the land. But it's a wonderful thing being able to being able to look back. Meaning in hindsight, you have the scriptures, you look back and you see, and you match it with what's happening today, right? UPK keep on telling us, you're not the Africans, and they make you know that the Africans, they have a stench.
God.
And when you look at our laws, you see it. You see why the laws came out the way they came out. Because these laws were to sever us from the rest of the nations.
God.
Right? And the ones that we were around were the Africans, the Egyptians in particular. So obviously, all of them carry a stench, regardless of where they come from.
God.
From those days until now. Because since we start mentioning in the various sectors that they work, they start noticing it. Because you used to take it like maybe they don't remember if you use a roll-on today. Only to find out that it's the norm. It's the norm for them to carry these stench. So when you get them now for an inheritance, 1 minute, sis. When you get them now for an inheritance, boy, we're going to have to clean them up here. You know, easy if you go around them with that smell, you know. Trust me. Yeah.
Like yes, sir. The experiences of like the same thing you're talking about, the smell.
Yeah.
I happened to speak to one of those Africans one day, and where somebody is having a conversation with the gentleman.
Hold on.
With the female.
Speak too much to the stench?
No.
Oh, yeah,
No. But
you're having a conversation.
Among some other person I was present, and it came up with the same stench came up.
Okay.
Somebody else said it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think an argument started. So the female was saying that the men like them like that. They are attracted to them with that scent.
Why something wrong with them, man?
I'm not sure if it is all tribes, but one in particular was saying that. I found it weird, but there's the norm, as I said.
All right. My brethren did the doc, right? Went on a medical thing there to one of them African nation. That time I never know anything about the stench, so them carry a stench really. He was telling me about it. And I said, and it was one of the rich African nation he went to. And him said from the plane land. And you go through the airport. You can smell feces. And I wonder, oh, we're such a rich nation. You can buy the plumbing systems from the West.
Yeah.
The way all them go to them relieve themselves, leave a stench in the place. And for the whole time in there, nothing. So I suppose if you go there and live for a while, you know, actually get used to it for true. But, But you not being in it, it's from your land in the country, you realize. It's like you leaving here and going to New York City. When you enter the harbor, you smell it. You smell that you're in athlete physical place.
That means it's in the year, that means
Pollution so high.
pollution
Right.
widespread.
Thank you. And it's not because of the dumping of garbage. It's like you go parade.
God,
You can smell the place.
God.
Right.
Riverton are one of them places.
Well, Riverton is because of the dump.
God.
But parade is because of nastiness.
God.
So when we pride in ourselves, both we are Africans and things. Maybe that's why we, through the environment, take time to pick up this nastiness. Because we are unknowingly taking on this spiritual vibration from these people. Right?
God.
And the most I want us to be separate. And one thing that is certain to make us separate from them is our laws. The way we conduct ourselves. Right? You hear them then tell us you can't eat anything. Like all the Chinese also eat anything. You don't know the side effect of eating everything.
God.
Eh? You know, you have certain foods, if you feed funny, you carry a certain order, you know. Simple food you use like garlic and onion, if you feed on it. You ever go against some of the garlic bread? And it's something that we use in our food. Yeah, you want to ask a question? Hmm? Right. So we and these nations, in particular the Africans, we have to come to the realization of the importance of our laws and stop letting these nations tell you that, oh, those laws are done away with. You can't do away with because it is to make you clean.
God.
It's like your right to have a bath. You're telling that we don't have to bath a beard.
Yeah, old fashioned.
Thank you. Exactly. It's old fashioned to bathe.
God.
When it is our laws that let us know that we should bathe.
God.
And then it goes a little deeper than that in the way how we deal with each other. We have laws that govern that, right? But more in particular, we talk about this stench. Now, when you look at the amount of laws we have about washing, that's how the clean feet come in, you know. The washing of the feet before you go into the temple. Well, we had long dirt roads. It's not like now when you have paved road. And even now with paved roads, the foot's still dirty, ain't it?
God.
And what people used to wear then was sandals. Never have full shoes like now. It's the cold that bring about the full shoes. But people had sandals that, you know, the toes breathe and things, so you wouldn't get fungus between your toes and in your nails, and so you're able to breathe. But when you reach to the temple now, after these journeys, you get so dusty. You have to wash your feet or you wash the whole body. Hence, we have the bathhouses around. So those are the purpose for washing. But they took it, even in Christ's time, they take it like it was some religious thing. That, you know, you wash, like you're washing to gain some power.
God.
When it was just to make yourself clean to go into place. Right? So you would get off the sweat. Yes, yes.
Just like growing up in the Christian church, where they would normally have, I was always feeling strange about it, where they would have like carry the basins, water.
Right, the church has
took
it louder.
They call it the Lord's Supper. And they would have a saying to it that many people say they have no need to do it, but they're doing the Lord's command. And since I'm in the truth, and I realize it's just cleanliness.
It's just clean. Nothing to do with our spiritual being. Washing out the beard, just like you would have a beard. But the feet, if you should walk on a dusty road, you would understand. You know what Canaanite?
Yeah, man,
it's the feet that was the most dirty part going while the road was being constructed, and you know the mall and everything. Even though it was all, is your feet become the dirtiest part. So hence we had that custom to wash the feet. The Muslim take it up now. It's actually a religion. It's religious in their thing. You wash the feet, take the shoes off, wash the feet outside, leave the shoes, go in the temple barefoot. Right? But it was just, for us, it was just cleanliness. And when we inherit these nations again, we have to teach them cleanliness again, because they have lost it. And to prove that they have lost it, coronavirus. Regardless of how it was spread, the source of the virus
came from,
right? Because you know, there's no all the virus that they use in biological warfare. They take it from the environment.
bacteria.
Yeah, man. So in other words, Ebola, you know about Ebola, then get the Ebola virus, and then they replicate it. So they can use it as a weapon now, right? But it originally they get it from the environment. Coronavirus, the same thing, comes from the environment. They have done studies on it before now, you know. But this strain is new. Just like the other 7 or 9 that is out there, which they don't know about.
The mutation.
They call it mutation. Right. So can you imagine if it was, say, Ebola spreading and then Ebola mutate? Because Ebola is a more deadly virus, you know. And by the way,
more disgusting virus.
And there was one that was more deadly than the Ebola themselves. Where churn up your actual liver, your cough and your spit blood. Kill you within days.
And no SARS that.
No man, no SARS. Something similar to Ebola though. Where that they found that kill very quick. And the Ebola kill quick too. But all of them caused by nastiness.
Right.
If man was following the laws, you wouldn't have these viruses. What caused AIDS to spread?
Homosexuality.
Not necessarily.
Another thing we hear, like people having sex with chimpanzee and all.
No, Mr. What caused it to spread?
Well, what I said, if you are dealing with sanitary thing you are dealing with, right?
Not necessarily. The main thing that caused AIDS, fornication,
God.
Sexual immorality.
God.
A man or a woman living together. The man, yes, him can have another wife, but him go outside and go have a one-night stand. That's like sleeping with a whore. That is sexual immorality. A man go and sleep with a man, right? Or the woman committing adultery. These are what cause it to spread. Well, nobody, I know they don't to fathom cancer. Some say it's a virus.
Unclean food,
Thank you. Some say it's a virus, some say it's not. But let's say it's a virus. It is generally persons who eat by dietary law don't normally get that.
Right.
You generally find persons who didn't follow the dietary laws as they should. Persons who smoke. Smoking is wrong. That's unlawful. You get lung cancer. And all the things that the Most High put in Deuteronomy 28 that he says that he would knock us with. There is one which him say will even the pestilence that is not in this book is going to knock us with, which is like AIDS, gonorrhea, well, STDs, cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all those things is on unclean foods given them. So that is why when you break the laws, you end up with things which you can't explain. But our church leaders have become such charlatans that they are able to tell you that, they trample the enemy and trample Satan, and Satan will cause this and thing. When it is your own action. Because you have a contract with the Most High, and the contract says, if you don't follow it, these are the things that are going to happen to you.
God.
But because it's so long, we think that it is null and void.
Outdated.
We think it's a Maurice Oxford. But it is very much in today's day. Because you see it, the curses, you see the curses happening to us. So you know that these things wouldn't be happening the way. When you look at the resilience of our people, you know that it must be something that is causing us not to propel. But we take it that it is just the white man, right? When the oppressor becomes your oppressor when you break the contract. In other words, if you don't break the contract, you have no power over you.
Yeah.
Which is why you realize that, brothers, once you come in the UPK and you diligently following what you are told and so on, your life will change. Unless you're that stubborn. But your life will change. You stick to it and you do. Because we are very practical. We don't just tell you, go and read so and so. You live it. You live the laws. Hence it bring about changes. When you look at the growth in the UPK and the kind of the caliber of people that comes into the UPK, what they came in has and what they are years later, you know that it must be the Holy Spirit at work. But the numbers, I mean, numbers still is small. I mean, compared to the amount that you want to reach. Compared to the amount that you should be reaching. But then it's just the Most High, because the way all the Most High plans for it to do is not for you to just wake up 1/3 of the nation and him come troops. When you read 2nd Esdras, you realize that his intention is to knock the people around you while you are here building in the truth. So the persons around you start getting strike. That's how the thrones being cast down, as Daniel saw it, and what left standing? Righteousness, UPK. That's why it's very important to be in every country that the Most High wants it to be, because is it going to be the lighthouse? The truth is going to be the lighthouse for those who really want to come back but don't know how. So the best way to get a person to change is not by preaching to them, is by living the life that you preach. So that while you are preaching to them, they are actually seeing what you are talking about. Outside of that, you are a Christian. The pastor said, do as I say, but who can finish it?
Not as I do.
But not as I do. Do as I say, but not as I do. So in other words, when you look at how a lot of the persons come into the UPK, the first when I saw Masha, it wasn't so much what he was saying. I can't tell you what he was saying, right? Even no, I can't only tell you that just his whole presentation and how he was standing up for our people caught my attention, right? And how he was really angling the oppressor. That was what the soul saw. What he was saying, I don't remember. Only thing I can remember, white man was the devil, is the devil, the Bible speaker, right? But what was the topic he was speaking? I can't tell you. I don't know. So you have to put. This is what the Most High wants, from us. The life, not just lip service, right? Why I tell you, there's so many. If we draw the scripture for every single thing that you mentioned, it will be a long thing. But when we get into it, we're going to touch the New Testament. We'll continue with Joshua. Verse 1, 6, 5? 5. All right.
Another one can. Joshua chapter 23, verse 5. And the Lord your God, he shall expel them from before you, and drive them from out of your sight, and he shall possess their land, as the Lord your God had promised unto you. Verse 6. Be ye therefore very courageous to keep and to do all that is written in the book of the law of Moses, that ye turn not aside therefrom to the right hand or to the left.
All right. So that is how the term, the narrow path, come about. No right turn, no left turn. One road ahead. It's a one-way street. So from the time of Moses to Joshua, all the way through, Christ said the same thing, right? And yet still, even in Christ's time, they were behaving as if, you can't take in. That's how the synagogues was in Christ's time, You take in other nation, right?
God.
In the time when we were rebuilding the temple, same thing. But at least in the time when we were building the temple, those were children from us, our joint nations were joined unto us through either taking your daughter or your son taking their daughter. But today, they are not joined to us by that kind of intermarriage. Or are they joined to us mainly?
Today?
Yeah. By them taking our word.
And spinning it.
Right. Because this is our garment,
God.
So they are taking our garment and putting it on. While telling you, while want to make a different garment to give you. Right? In other words, our culture. They have taken our culture, our way of life, and given us crops. Because while we were serving our 400 years, they saw the power in it. They realized the wealth, riches, they realized the riches and the power that it gave them over this earth just by doing what the Most High told us to do. Can you imagine? It was given to you. You didn't do it. The next man look at it and pick it up and just do what it says and gain the world and gain dominion over you too. So why should you follow the narrative or the doctrine or the religion that is going to tell you that your laws are done away with? You can't. But who's telling that their laws are done away with, They are not they are not physically or religiously joined to those who have your culture, who are the Jewish people. They give you Christianity.
Yeah. That's something for us to keep in check. Stay over here with Christianity while we do what we are telling you to do.
Which is like, I remember the lady who said to Christ, Lord, Lord, but even the dog benefit from the crumb that fall from the table. Well, that's what Christianity gives you. You are blessed and highly favored. Not your nation, you know, you. So you might get a good job, you have a nice house, and you have a car. But what about your nation? Covenant wasn't given to you, it was given to your nation. So it's your nation and a whole that should be benefiting. But no, that's Christianity. They flip it, you know. And they'll give you, the children, the crumbs. That's why Christ is so angry at them. Sis. That's why Christ is so angry with them, because they take your thing and, all right, think of you having, say, even one child, right? You leave that child with a relative, or even say a stranger, right? And you send food, you send money to take care of your child. But the person who is being now the guardian of your child, because you're not there, take that money, but use it to take care of their children. And leave your child outside, buoy bat, running up and down in the dirt without clothes, naked, nose not a run down and a run down in their mouth. Him hungry, can't get none to eat, start grow all malnourished. When it's your money that you are sending, is taking care of his or her personal children. Well, it's the same thing that is happening to us today. The blessings are flowing, you know. The Most High blessing never stop. But is it coming to us?
Yeah.
The nation that have us under oppression is taking those blessings and building themselves while giving you what?
Scraps.
Barely survival quantities you're getting from them, while they are growing so big that the wealth that they have, the only way they can finish it now is if they just get careless and give it away. Right? That's the only way. And they have so cemented themselves where they learn from the Indians that you can work with fiat money. So you don't go have the printing press, right? And you print the money. You can't out the money. You can't out the money. So you don't even have to worry about God digging real gold to back your economy. Right? You keep on building your army and keep on printing money, fiat money. It's reached a stage now where they want to do away with us, you know. That's why the Most High clap them, you know. No. Because when you look at what's happening in Jamaica, we went through how they actually cut off the poor from the little trickle down that used to catch them in tourism, from the schools, through the dance hall, right? They cut all of that. So what they expect? The Most High, your father send $1 billion every year, and you barely get $1,000, and yet still cut the $1,000. So they expect, and your father not dead. Your father is very much alive, you know. So you must expect your father is going. They don't expect your father is going to step in one at a time. and take control of the situation and flip back the script on them. Right? That's what this is all about. So what we read about in Isaiah, what that says, take them and possess and rule over your oppressor. That is the script, or the table being turned. Right. Verse 1 now, 6.
Another one, God. Verse 6. Be therefore very courageous, keep and to do all that is written in the book of the laws of Moses, that he turn not aside therefrom to the right
or to the left. Right, just stay on the narrow part, and that narrow part is the law. 7.
Another one, God. Verse 7. That he come not among these nations, these that remain among you, neither make mention of the name of their gods, nor cause to swear by them, neither serve them, nor bow yourselves unto them.
All right. So, which season are we now?
We are in out of winter now, we are probably in spring.
Right. So we're entering the Passover season.
God.
Esau call it the what? Easter.
God.
Which is, we get so many chastising in the scriptures for Queen of Heaven. It's the same thing. So you see that your oppressor been following the history.
God.
And know which God to give you, which one to make prominent among you. Yeah, man. So the Queen of Heaven now talk about fertility, which is so absurd because you celebrate fertility and at the same time you're pushing Planned Parenthood on us.
God.
You see the two-facedness of the oppressor? But this is the time now that you going to celebrate fertility and say spring come again and things come back round. Right?
God.
Now the Most High has chastised us so many times for celebrate baking cakes and so on to Queen of Heaven. Today we use what?
We use Easter bun and cheese and
right.
You know what I mean?
And don't the bun and cheese it good?
Yeah, man, that's why they make it taste so good.
All right. Bun and cheese it good, but it's just what your party is not the eating of the bun and cheese, you know. It's why you're doing it. So in other words, somebody come and see and say, well, I'm not Easter, I don't want to my bun and cheese. You understand?
God.
Him never asked about bun and cheese in a January or February.
No one feel for bun and cheese.
No him feel for bun and cheese. Don't even realizing that him attaching himself to something that is keeping him oppressed. Because these are the things that keep us oppressed in more ways than one, because the bun then get expensive, you know. So the little poor man now will say, boy, trust me, Easter, I'm have to have bun and cheese on my table too.
Mm-hmm.
Even the small one, unless you can buy the little round bun them, which is available right throughout the year. You don't want that because that now the fruits and things that Easter bun carry.
Yeah.
Even the small one. Cost a little penny. But what? You have to put yourself in one position now where you have to earn some money because you have to make for your picnic eat bun and cheese too.
Yeah.
And that is where you go wrong. They don't need to know how bun and cheese tastes. No. They can make it, get the taste of it some other time. Yes, yes.
So, okay, sir, and even with the organizations, you find that they're so crafty because they get these deals from these persons who make it on a mass level. And they will come to the workers and say, you have to pay no money, you can't trust it.
Remember when we were in the church, they do the same thing too. Yeah, man. Sit down and you tell them how much you want. And you not pay up front fee. Yeah, man. And you say, all right, I need one for so on, one for so on, and for so on. and you buy a portion, and you just tell yourself, sorry, we'll spend on 20 grand. You in the church, like when we were in the church, you're doing it because they do it for like a fundraising. So buy it to support the fundraising. So if you decide to spend 120 grand with them, you alone can't have 20,000 out of one. Diabetes diabetes won't be knocking at your door. Diabetes going to be laying in the bed. Right? So you have to give it out. And then the best persons you're going to look to give it out and say, some less fortunate persons. Somebody say, might not go. In other words, the person who has the haves, you don't necessarily give them more than cheese. Because they have a give it to. Right. So why you have to worry yourself about you give them bun and cheese? Because all that going to happen is that they take few and give it to. So you give it to the persons that you figure around in your circle who so them not going to have no bun and cheese. So you give them some. Right? And of course you're going to give your children and things too. But that is celebrating, that is turning to the right or to the left.
Yeah.
And this is what we are being told from the time of Joshua not to do. And they're so clever. Because the year is fairly young, And this is now the third time since the year start that they have you celebrating a fast God. There was New Year's, celebrating Janus. There was Valentine's, and now there is Easter. After Easter, what you get? You get a little break. But it's just them give you some break to build up back again for Christmas and for the New Year's. All right, verse what now?
Verse 8. Verse 8. But cleave unto the Lord your God as ye have done unto this day.
All right. So how do we cleave? If you ask a Christian how they cleave to God, what are they going to tell you?
Just believe and love Him.
Go to church and take communion.
Baptize in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost.
None of what he's telling is going to be and treat other Christians good. None of what he is going to explain to you don't involve treating others good enough. He's going to tell you the things: be baptized, go to church, partake in church, take your communion, and what does he say?
Them love say prayer.
Right, fast.
And
then tell about attend your fasting and your prayer, and make sure you get the Holy Spirit. And none of it doing involve brotherhood. None. And none of it does not involve not worshiping other gods. Because all the other gods that our people are worshiping today comes right through the church. New Year's, churches have Valentine's dinner, Easter, Christmas. The Christmas tree now is on the altar, right up side of the pastor. As a matter of fact, when other persons in the world having tree lighting ceremony, the church then call to come pray for do the prayers and the whole ceremony for them, man. The very things that the Bible tells us not to partake and indulge in.
Church promotes that.
Is what the church promotes.
Yeah.
So that tell you that they are for who?
I tell you that the church is actually an enemy of the Most High.
That tells you that they are not doing their work unto Christ. They are doing their work unto themselves. In other words, they are doing what they want to do. The things that make them feel good. Right? It is one thing for you to say you love someone, you know. But it's another thing to say you love the person actually do what they say you should do. Even when it goes against your personal belief. In other words, you believe that you can eat one piece of Easter bun. But because the Most High say, don't worship other gods, they're going to make sure you don't eat Easter bun during Easter time. Right? I never eat it, you know, really take it, make present, give other people. Right? And you might can't eat it for yourself because I see it nothing a long time I don't buy it a piece.
You have some little smaller Easter bun, looking square bun thing. You know, what are Easter bun them? Them sell all through
right through the year, but when Easter time, them put Easter on it because
normally put Easter on them one day.
Yeah, and Easter. On the Easter time, well, and that the little man can afford.
Right.
So make him feel a part of the thing to write Easter upon it. And it sell more during that time too.
Right.
Because they actually put more fruits in it that time. And probably put up the price a little more. But to indulge, take it, make present, and you know, get in the hype, in the spirit of the game. Because that's the danger now, you know. When you get in the spirit of the game,
right.
That's when you're gone to other gods.
What about just blowing out Easter bun, the whole entire season of Easter?
That's the best thing to do. Best thing to do. Because guess what? After Easter, all I do is sell off anyway, and the price go and drop. So if you want to eat a piece, eat it that time. Just don't get in the spirit of the time.
But you see that Easter bun something there? You know, coming out the white box, National Easter bun. You know them, you know?
That one there, the dear one, man.
You know, so I can't recall seeing them through the rest of the year. I can't recall.
The box one, them, they only come at that time.
Yeah,
because they are the bigger one, those.
But you have some little rectangular bun.
Right through the year. About two sizes. That little one and another little bigger one. You can get it through.
Yeah, two different sizes.
Right.
And I Easter bun them.
I see what you make, man.
They would make the Easter bun them similar. You can know the Easter bun them.
It's the same ingredients.
Same ingredients and everything.
But the packaging at that time, that's why I use the term the spirit of the time. Because it's like eating meat that was sacrificed unto an idol. It don't say nothing, you don't do nothing. You're going to sacrifice one goat to an idol and the meat clean and you eat it. That don't mean you worship idol. So you eating the bun don't mean you're worshiping Ishtar, you know. But don't get in the spirit of the game. Don't get caught up. You know, like when Christmas time, I talk about Christmas spirit. And you can actually see it on the road because, trust me, people out more, people are shop more and more vehicle on the road and things. That is Christmas spirit. Don't get in the Easter spirit. Getting in the Valentine spirit, now you put on your red and white and you make sure you buy one girl one present. You know, buy one of your yard where you live within it, but you're going to buy one girl, another man who wants something. I time now where you're going to smash it. So that what? You get your go and commit adultery with that man who want. Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just the challenge I've always had. I think I've asked this question in a class before, and it was when we were teaching or someone else. But what the fact that you have, because even in the workplace, it is very hard to that you have to think ahead of time and expect you know, what they are going to do or indulge in.
Right.
And then you're the one who's looked at as odd. But I don't mind being odd. But I think the safest way to really deal with it is just not to be involved in any activity, no indulgence, no buying of the thing, nothing. I think that is saving your soul, because I've always struggled with it. Is saving, how do you go about saving your soul then? Is it that you say that you just eat a piece because it's just a bun, or is it that you just cut it out fully?
Don't get in the spirit of the game.
So that's a paramount thing there.
That's a paramount, getting in the spirit of it. If when the meat that was sacrificed to an idol is being done and you were there and you were bowing your head and getting that solemn mood of this idol sacrifice, you would be, it's not the same thing like what Paul talk about, you know. Right? Paul is talking about you not being in the spirit of the idolatry, but they kill the goat to get the blood to make an offering to their God, right? After they do that, they bring the meat into the marketplace to sell. You now go to the market to buy meat. So you don't know that that goat was, our cow was sacrificed to an idol. So Paul is telling you that you know really make a difference. I know you're not worshiping the idol. When you go to the market, you go to the market to buy food. You get me? So it's a similar thing with the Easter bun. Is when you get in the spirit of Easter. In other words, you're eating the Easter bun because it's Easter. You get me?
Yeah.
That's you getting in the spirit.
So like what you know. How long now me eat bun? Good while. And till Easter come around now and me eat bun.
Right, but at the same time, it is readily available now.
Yeah, it become more available.
But you watch when Easter finish, you're going to see it on the shelf. Remember last year they started sell 2 for 1.
Yeah.
2 at the price of 1.
Discount.
Yep.
Deal.
I did buy some. Got them nice, you know. But I wasn't in the spirit of the game. Easter passed and gone. But I like the taste of the spice bun. Sometimes I buy the small one throughout the year.
You can know the specific one them where are definitely Easter bun there. You see?
Yeah.
A Easter bun.
Yeah, you're kind of right. Yes, yes.
Answer. The example that you stated a while ago. You don't know the meat was sacrificed to idols. What you go when you go to the marketplace, it is therefore to be sold.
Right.
By a piece.
Right.
Now, if you are knowledgeable, as in you know, right? It could be an event that they are sacrificing things to idol. It could be a meat sacrifice to idol. It could be eating of whatever, and you're offered it. And you know, you're knowledgeable that this is where it's coming from. When you're offered it, what do? You're just eating it because it's given to you and you weren't present there, but you're indulging in something that was sacrificed. You know about it, so to speak.
You're talking about the meat sacrifice and to idol.
Not necessarily the meat, but you have some functions that you would have had meals prepared, and you as an individual know what the function is geared toward.
All right. Now, in the New Testament, that was the only thing that Paul mentioned about idolatry and food. Meat being that it was sacrificed unto idol, because it it covers the same thing with Easter and whatever. Spiritually, it does nothing to the food. So you eating it don't make you guilty, you know. You partaking in that ceremony is what make you guilty.
Right. Sir, it's just a recent experience that I've had. A birthday, I didn't know of it, but there was a birthday celebration, right? For, I wouldn't want to state where, but there's a birthday celebration. I was specifically called. Now, this person who calls me know that I do not celebrate birthdays and I don't indulge in a lot of things.
Right.
When I was called, without hesitation, I said, I'm not available and I won't be present. But because I know it was a birthday celebration, I refused to indulge in any of the food that was prepared there.
And nothing is wrong with that.
What you're saying, if I should indulge, nothing is wrong with that. Not that I would go to physically
it left. All right. In that same explanation of Paul tell you that the brother who is not strong, leave him. You don't even buy it have it at your house and him come there and give him some. Because him not, you can eat it and you know you're not indulging. Right? Yeah.
I appreciate that point, sir, because for to say that I do not celebrate birthdays, then I am present to receive of that event. Then it sends a message to those who are present.
Yes, because it's the same person who I invite you, I go carry it and give you. So that same person also watch it. You know, celebrate birthday, but watch your mighty birthday food.
That's my point.
Yeah. But let's say birthday celebration done and everybody gone, but some leftover food and you go there and take it up. That don't mean you celebrate birthday. It's just the persons around you know who it might send something in their mind, then would make you do bother trouble it. Because you being in the truth, you know. What you don't say speaks more than what you say. In other words, what you do is way more powerful than what comes out your mouth. So, in your case, the best thing to do is just leave it alone. Because they're going to think you're a Christian. Right? Best thing to do, leave that alone. But me now celebrate Easter or whatever. And me buy one Easter bun. And me come home and eat 2 slices of Easter bun or whatever. Eating Easter bun. I'm not in the spirit of the game. But all the time. Right? But let's say now my brother Kayadwa now not so strong now. Me not going to eat it in front of him. And even within myself, for me, I try not to eat it within that time. To give the feeling that you're doing it for the season.
In my mind, I say, why not just protest the season? You see? Just protest. Right. You see?
Well, that's not going to make it bun go away.
No, make it bun. Just protest it. Bun it. Bun the bun.
Right. So, you know the more seasoned brother have to be mindful of the younger ones. And be mindful of what you do in their presence. Because you know what you do, you're not partaking, but in their mind. Because they are, when you just come in the truth, you're in this kind of spirit where you just want to cut everything. All the things where you're just supposed to do. Like when we just come in the truth, you see all the restaurant they will cook pork. I don't buy food there. Right? Yeah. But then you realize after now, say, yeah, you can buy them chicken. And you might watch how they angle their food and realize they're not contaminate. Right? But even then, you know, it's still the best if you don't buy there. But in our society now, you would dead for hungry. You could die of hunger because, well, maybe have a vegetarian place. One. Is there another one? You know, another one?
No, sir.
Other than what their street name?
Nelson.
Other than Nelson Street. I don't know of another vegetarian place. Then put up the sign, we cook nothing with nothing that have life and nothing with face. as a Rasta man, I think I'm a Rasta man around the place. So. But at the same time, are the best food for you because the clean food you get. Everything from the Levitical laws. Yeah.
I've noticed that particular place that they prepare that food, it digests better than any other restaurant that you eat.
Yeah, because them give you they not give you the unclean food, but at the same time, it means what? A Rasta man.
And that food is sacrificed.
Our born, so we so we don't burn fire upon the food, but we burn fire upon the Rasta, don't? So that's why this is captivity you're in. There's no place you can go. You can go against the Indians. There are some Indian restaurant in town. Gonna deal with pork and so. They do clean food. But they are Hindu. Your people know who are the jakes in the world. So yeah, these are the people we should be supporting and spend our money with them. But then cook pork. You get me?
God.
And they might cook some unclean fish. So the best thing to do as far as long as you can, prepare food at your home. As a matter of fact, you will realize that the less you eat out is the less stomach problem you have. True or false? You don't realize that?
I realize that yet.
You said right, yet. Because maybe when I was your age, I didn't have the problem. But for me, I realized the less I eat out, is the less stomach problem. The food out there just like it mash up your stomach. You have to just eat more from home. That's the best way to guarantee that you're eating according to Levitical laws. Because you can't be eating chicken, but that chicken that they throw over upon the pork.
You're right, sir. The best way for go up. The best way.
I wash it in the same water.
Best option is just prepare your own food. You know what I mean?
But when you're out there working, difficult to always prepare your own food. Kind of taxing on you to always. So you're on the road, especially lunch. It's generally lunch. Sometimes breakfast, but mainly lunch. You're on the road, you get 1 hour lunch.
First restaurant.
Thank you. You go and you buy the safest meat you can buy, chicken. Right? You buy the safest meat you can buy at the time, which is chicken. What can you do? But the most I said, don't turn to the right nor to the left. Which means don't overinterpret it and don't underinterpret it. In Christ's time, they were overinterpreting the laws. Yeah, because they were following the laws in Christ's time, wasn't they? Scribes and Pharisees.
They were hypocrites. They were telling one thing and them other.
Answer the question, I said. They were following the laws. Yeah. They were eating according to the laws. Don't. Yeah. They dress according to the laws. Yeah. But what were they not doing?
They were not.
They were not being brotherly to each other. Yeah. What else? And many other things. All right. I think Christ made reference about the the treating of the parents.
Oh yeah, God.
Right, so they weren't doing that. So they had the laws, they were doing most of the law, they weren't worshiping another idol. Right?
Yeah.
Were they? They weren't. Within Jerusalem, they weren't in Christ's time. But at the same time, Christ burned them out as being hypocrites. So you understand what I mean by no, neither to the right nor to the left. Right? So if you go far left now, you're going like we know, we are far left, worshiping other gods. We swing left, worshiping other God outright. Nothing to do with the scriptures as it is, and to do what it says. Even the image of the man who came to save will get changed. So I don't even, and when you read the true thing in the Bible, the same scripts, hypocritical Christians and tell you, what them say? Color don't matter. I'm telling you, if color don't matter, why not make the Bible stay as it is then? Don't change it. Right? If Christ look like you, as according to what the Bible says, why change it to somebody white and then them say color no matter? Yeah. Make it stay like how it is. All right. Verse what? 8?
Sir,
oh, 9.
Verse
9.
Verse 9. Verse 9. For the Lord has driven out from before you great nations and strong. But as for you, no man has been able to stand before you unto this day.
Right, because we were keeping the laws then. 10.
Verse 10. One man of you shall chase 1,000, for the Lord your God, he it is that fighteth for you, as he has promised you. Verse 11. Take good heed therefore unto yourself, that ye love the Lord your God.
And always show love to God.
By keeping his laws.
Doing what he says, which is to keep the laws. Oh, you sure? If in a community run by a Dan, or you show your loyalty to Dan? You do what him say? And man in that Tivoli and Dodo say, school pick me off road 6 o'clock. I think the government couldn't me say when people really hypocritical, you know. Not even the government couldn't get it enforced the way we enforce it, you know. When him say, no school pick me off on the road after 6. They must be in their home. Road clean. Not if you pick me even upon the road in a uniform, in parents send them a shop. As a matter of fact, many of them afraid to even go shop outside of the uniform. He said, me? No, mommy, you go on. Me not go up on the road. Right. Well, that's the fear the most I want you to have of him. That's what I mean by fearing God. You ain't got a friend. He give you the rules, you follow the rules and take your blessing and behave yourself. But I think you ain't got to sit down and cry. You ain't got to sit down and hold a drink. Like I am my brethren. That will never happen. Same like that's why maybe you see me I show you know. Most I put on us the same things that we fail to give him, you know. Maybe I make we as Israelite plagued with so much dons, you know. The Mexicans, Brazilians, all of we, you know, all the nations except for Judah. No, but it's the same thing. They have gang leaders. Them say gang leader, they don't say Dan. Them say gangster and gang leader. Yeah. Same thing. Because you don't want to fear me, God, go and fear them. Fear them. And then fear them good too.
God.
Continue.
Verse 12. Else if you do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them, and they to you. Verse 30. Know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you.
All right. No, for a certainty, it's certainly going to happen that I'm not going to drive these nations from before you. Continue.
Another one come. Verse.
Same verse.
But they shall be snares and traps unto you, and scourges in your sight, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you.
It's just like we know here in Egypt again with the oppressors. But it's when you come in the truth, you realize what is out there, you know. The Easter, the Thanksgiving, the New Year's, the Valentine's, the Christmas, and so on. It's when you come in the truth, your eyes, that is being awakened now, you know. You out there in the church, you know, you say, but idolatry is a thing of the past. That's the feeling I got when you're in the church, you know. You don't see no statue in the church, you don't know where. How do you search in the island, you don't know, you don't see a temple erect unto another God. So you tell yourself, say, well, idolatry have come a far way, man. Idolatry, and the very church is idolatry to back. Day the white Christ, have you celebrating Easter rather than Passover? Have you celebrating New Year, which is the God of new beginning, Janus? Have you celebrating Valentine's, but God of love? But as a matter of fact, they're clever with it. Valentine's is a time for love. So look at the hypocrisy. The Bible tells you what is love, you know. What's the love of God? That we keep His commandments. But Valentine's, not to do with commandment. That is why so much bungy during that time there. A Joe grind season. Maybe they should change the name from Valentine's and call it Joe grind time. Yeah, man. Because the period that one. But you know, praises to the sisters in the UPK. You know, they don't fall into them trap there. Right? Whether them priests have it to give, I will not give at that time. But right. Whether the priests have it to give them all year or not, they don't get fall in those trap and get caught up to get teddy bear and chocolate and make ants bite up in it, red ants bite up in it. Black ants. Black ants bite up their neck. Hey, and when that happened, you know, man, then we did Lewis cut, you know, the next morning, you know, and show it marks. Valentine's is a cruel time, man. Leaves scars on the art. And a motherfucker, you know, said there's a lot of, you have a lot of breakups. You have a lot of killings too. Because at that time the man find out him get burned. Yeah.
So that you're saying on the part of the females, you've always heard that, you know, pregnancy, you know, children, you know, growing in the womb to be born to the man who's not really the father.
Jacket. Now, Joe Grind. Joe Grind come in, you know. Joe Grind picnic. But you see, then again, that's one of the things that the most I put on us. Bastard children. Those who don't is that the way we behave unto him. Right. Like we are not his children. So make we get it. Make we get the jacket. We feel what it feel like. Right? Make your woman go sleep out with that man because pay that we do with him as a nation. Well, I see where him feel when time we go worship other gods. See him where him feel. So we have to understand and say, you know, we have to really look into it and say, boy, burn hot, you know. I see him where God feel. Because you burn you give. when you look at this, you can bow yourself down to other God. You are giving bun. See, well, so when you come to you know, Lord, the woman give me money, say, I see you make me feel bad. But I believe God have a real sense of humor. He's very practically hot though. Feel practical joke them too hot.
When she give up on now, ask God why?
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 Why, Lord? Why? Lord say, sorry, go on.
God.
Kill him with practical joke, man.
God.
All right, let's continue. 14.
Come. And behold, this day I am going the way of all the earth. And ye know in all your hearts and in all your souls that not one thing has failed of all the good things which the Lord your God spake concerning you. All are come to pass unto you, and not one thing has failed thereof.
All right, so up until his time in Joshua, all the promises, the Most High fulfilled it. He held his part of the bargain.
God.
All right, 15.
God, verse 15. Therefore, it shall come to pass that as all good things are come upon you, which the Lord your God promised you, so shall the Lord bring upon you all evil things, until he have destroyed you from off this good land which the Lord your God has given you.
All good things are come to you, which the Lord has promised you, so shall he bring upon you. See him like how him bring the good things, you turn away. Him shall kill you with practical jokes. Until you have been destroyed. He going to be joke to him, but he going to be dead to you. You know that when them say, frog say, the frog say. Come on. It's a famous thing in Jamaica, you know. Frog say what?
What is joke to is dead to him?
Frog say what is joke to you is dead to him. You know where that come from? That saying that come from?
Yeah.
What children love to do with bullfrogs? Kick them around.
Oh.
And I laugh and take a bullfrog for football. So it's joke to them. But what you're actually doing to the frog? You're actually killing the frog. Right. So what is joke to you? Dead to him. So the Most High seem like how him rejoice to see good. He's saying, go and do what? Rejoice to see you in evil. So you're going to be joke to him. You're certainly going to be dead to you. Yeah, man. Until you have been destroyed from off this land. Well, we don't need any scientific research for that. We know what. Because we're not there.
Yeah.
We ain't there. All right, 16.
Verse 16. When ye have transgressed the covenant of the Lord your God, which he commanded you, and have gone and served other gods, and bowed yourself to them, then shall the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and ye shall perish quickly from off the good land which he has given unto you.
All right. You have gone to serve other God and bow yourself to them. You see, that is the part, you know. You bow your soul to this idolatry.
Yeah.
Because Daniel was in Babylon. Daniel was serving an idolatrous king,
Yeah.
But Daniel wasn't chastised for serving the idolatrous king. Daniel even went in the presence of the statue. Nothing was wrong with that. So this is the part now, you know. That's the fine print here now. Bowing yourself. Meaning what? Your actions now your action is now dictated by the beliefs of that religion. Or the philosophies of that religion. Right? The philosophy from the Queen of Heaven is that the Queen of Heaven bring forth life at this time, springtime.
Yeah.
Right. and the rabbit and the Easter egg. All the while people say, "No, the egg can't, rabbit not lay egg," you know. But the science, this philosophy behind it is that the egg represents fertility, and the more eggs that the children are able to find, is the more they'll be fertile. That's the whole idea behind the egg hunting.
Okay.
They're searching for the fertility,
God.
right? So you know, you might not go to church, you know, might not be a church person, but you're partaking that. That is you bowing yourself to Ishtar, you know.
God.
That more even serious than eating the Easter one. But you're going to egg hunt. Yeah? Because right now you're saying is not the Most High that brings forth life in spring. It's the Queen of Heaven that does it.
God.
You understand? Serious thing, man. And they do it for fun. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't know the reason behind it. Yeah, man, you can. All right. Bow yourself to them. Then shall the anger of the Lord be kindled against you. That is what King is in. Because what we had done, we start serving, we start putting present on the Christmas tree, baking cakes to Queen of Heaven. And what else? Those are the two main things.
Yeah, Christmas and Easter.
Christmas and Easter, the two main things that anger the Most High. Because we did it sincerely. When that time come around, the Christmas season was just like you have it here.
God.
Right? And when Easter come around, Queen of Heaven time come around, it was the same thing. Right? Same kind of season, same kind of spirit. People, because back then, you know have it like we have the big bakeries, them now be the Easter bunny you go and buy. You would make it at your home.
God.
So all the homes who believe in it now, them hustling up and baking cakes, baking Queen of Heaven cakes, right? The Bible said cakes. We said bun, right? But it was the spirit of the moment that the people were getting in. And that's what angered the Most High. Because right away now, you're not showing fear to him. You're showing fear to the Queen of Heaven. Because you now believe that if you don't do these things, you won't be fertile. Your crops won't come in, right? Your lineage won't grow. When the Most High don't tell us him make your crop grow and then him make your seed, your ministries, your children flourish. But nah, we have to listen to them other race, man. And it's always the rich of us who get involved in it.
God.
All right, go to Zephaniah now.
God, one can.
Now we all know what happened after Joshua because we are here now. We're not in the land. We got our ass kicked. We got kicked out. All right, Zephaniah. Chapter 3. All right, let's see how much of this we can cover now. What is that? All of it is we can read 9. Read verse 9. Read verse 9.
Another one gone. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent.
All right. So we see this happening now through the I.S.U.P.K. And if you are online and you want that pure language, you need to come to our Friday. Tune in isupk.com and find one of the Lasha One Kodash class. You better believe that you are going to get that pure language by just falling down and and then just start speaking a different language. It don't work like that. Come to class. The Holy Spirit is a teacher. All right. Drop down to drop down to 13.
Another one gone. Verse 13. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth, for they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid.
All right. So that remnant now that the Most High is speaking of, that remnant is spoken of throughout all all right. Go to Jeremiah now. Talk about the remnants. That is the import. That is what we need to understand today. Whatever the Most High has spoken, you can't change your mind because it's already written. He has spoken it. Jeremiah 23 and 3.
Another one gone. Another one gone. This is Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 3. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them.
All right. So all the different countries that Israelites are being found. Benjamin alone. You know, say, we are a scattered bunch of Benjamin in the Isles of the Caribbean. Jamaican Benjamin, Trinidadian Benjamin, Dominican Benjamin, Dominica, Belize.
Belize, sure.
No Belize.
East Indian.
No, man.
No, them look Arawak to me. Belize.
Well, you have a lot of Jamaicans over there, but no, not Belize, man. Barbados. We have Montserrat. Well,
Montserrat, Benjamin too.
I mean,
Yeah.
black people, them man. Benjamin. They are Caribbean. You have
Island with the volcanoes.
right. You have England.
America.
America mainly Judites. Any school in America is straight Judite with Benjamites in them.
Yeah.
We're talking about how we as Benjamites, how dispersed we are. But if you look at it, you can say Judah too, because it's 48 states on the mainland. You know, every state that you have in America now was once a country. Yeah, it was a country, you know. And so you have the United States, you know.
Okay, good.
I think it was Florida that was controlled by the Spanish. Right? They sell it back to America. They do to the Americans for peace. They do all these things. But all the states, the whole 48 of them was a country. Is when the Union now, so the Union came about when they come and that's how you know you have the Star Spangled Banner each time when one state would join the union, one more star get added to the flag.
Okay, good.
Right. You end up with 52 stars.
One hundred the Confederate flag.
No, not the Confederate flag. The regular flag, the American flag. We have the whole heap of stars them on it. So in a sense, Judah was scattered in that sense. But then they come back now under the United States. And but maybe they realize that even though they scattered the other tribes, keeping Judah by themselves give you more wealth. Because trust me, when they do that, woo, America is so rich now. And it's not because I know special ingenuity of the white man. It's because it's Judah they have.
God.
All because it's Judah they have. And then over the years, other tribes come. So then now they have the 12 tribes within the country, right? So the main reason there is Judah. Judah are the inventors, the stars. Look how much money being made out of sports now.
God.
If you ever read about the black baseball league,
No, never read
the white man, they may have a major league baseball, but they have one black league, which drive more crowd because the game was more fun to watch and the better players were there anyway. It's during that same devilish Martin Luther King and him actions. All because he love white box. In tech about integration. You see the danger of having one of your people being drawn onto these other nations. Because all they do, they just use that one person who is drawn to them to be lord over you.
Yeah.
That's what happened with us and Martin Luther King. Right? And come with integration. Mash up the major league black teams, black basketball team, all the black sports. Because now you're integrated. So then buy you to play in their league. So for your league now, the better players them now come and in their league. So they are the black league, them get mashed up. Same thing happened with the historical black colleges. And mostly white people them don't like it is there now. Look at Harvard. Harvard established when slave was around. Sorry, Howard University. Established as a black university when slave was around. Because you had some of the states that were free during slavery and some that were not.
Yeah.
But that's the life of us. That's what we are now. Jeremiah?
Gotcha. 23 and still in 3.
Still in 3. All right, finish it.
Another one can, and will bring them again to their fold, and they shall be fruitful and increase.
All right. Because what? We are being killed now. We are being killed now in all different ways. So the Most High is saying a time will come when we won't be killed again, but we are going to be fruitful, and our people shall be, our population shall increase.
Yeah.
He's going to fill the earth with his righteous seed. All right, give me Isaiah 10, 21 and 22.
Another one can. This is Isaiah chapter 10, verse 21. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, unto the mighty God. Verse 22. For though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. To consumption, the creed shall overflow with righteousness.
All right. So it's only a remnant of us, he's saying, that is going to go back. Compared to the amount that is now, that we have, like today, the amount that will actually make it back, he's referring to those as remnant. All right, Zechariah 13. 7 to 9.
Another one come. This is Zechariah 13 verse 7. Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn mine hand upon the little ones. Verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
Right. He's saying all the land. Two parts of his people is going to cut off and die. But the third shall be left therein. Verse 9.
Verse 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my God.
So, whatever it is the Most High is going to use to cut off the third, the 2 parts, could be war. Well, we know war going to be eventually. Because disease spread terrible during war too.
God.
As a matter of fact, if the world was in war now and you have this coronavirus, the death would have been more.
God.
Way more. So imagine World War III break out. And one other virus. And the other 10 strain. The other 10 strain that are mutated. Start circulate again. Woo. Problem.
God.
It is then we're going to know that it is God that is working.
God.
When you start to people, the hospitals during the war, hospital supplies now go get removed as it is moving now.
God.
So the hospital might be open, but the aid not there.
God.
People just drop dead in front of you. Worse than now. Right? So he said that he will bring that third, which is the same remnant he's talking about. Which means that why the third look like he's going to be here to witness all that. And to test your strength. Right? But him done, the int is always there. Call on his name. That is why I'm returning unto you the holy tongue, the Lasha one Kodash. And we say in our Father in the holy tongue. Right. So rather than going out there, you call out, Jesus! You know him right name. Call him by his name. Right? And doing all these things before him start cut the 2/3, Right? This is just coronavirus. But if you realize, rather than people look at the positives that they gain out of being cut off, and the fact they have to quarantine, rather than people look at the positives that is in that, and all them are talking about, boy, you can't even make no money.
No, look at it as a positive.
Who the money belong to? When the war started, the money can't circulate. Go blame the government that time. And when the government collapsed, they left out there on their own. Blame the government that time.
Can't be in government there, sir.
Can't believe me, they're not around. Right. All right, that was a Zachariah.
Gone, sir.
All right, go to second Esdras now.
Gone, the one gone.
Book of second Esdras chapter 15, reading 8 to 11.
Gone, the one gone. This is second Esdras 15, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
All right, this one, remember the Sunday we were searching for that part where we said, we'll give you that, but we termed it wrong. That Sabbath from wickedness.
God.
That is it right here.
Okay.
But I think it is expressed another way in another book. But this is what we were talking about. I'm saying, neither will I suffer them in those things which they wickedly exercise themselves.
God.
So that is what the quarantine cut us from. Prostitute can't go, they go do nothing. Most of them man them lock up at the yard, them will want to smoke. Can't get none. Church lockdown. What else? The things the oppressors were planning against us get shut down. Right? So all the things that we were exercising ourselves. You know, them as much pork as you. All right, maybe they get them pork same way. But well, one thing that wasn't available, shrimp and lobster, because the fisherman couldn't go out. Man, a lockdown, and if you even go out, you can't get to go around and sell it. Right. So that gives us a little Sabbath from wickedness. Verse 9.
God, everyone can. Verse 9. And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
All right, so that's a remnant there. 10.
Verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
How are we being led as a flock, as a flock to the slaughter? Planned Parenthood come in, we can't do nothing about it. They slaughtering. Mass incarceration, they slaughtering, we can't do nothing about it. Police in America, the police are kill off our brothers. We can't do anything about it. But they are leading you to death. We can't do anything.
God.
This is systematic murder, systematic oppression, systematic murdering. Continue.
God. Verse 11. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof.
Now, if there was people who were God-fearing and loving in the church, they would not have taken these books out of the Bible.
God.
Because it is clear that it's not over. And where is it? And will destroy all, where is it? I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. So they read it and they say, please see if it will happen again. So they move it. Because what? You are giving them so the remittance from the Most High. Yeah, Jamaica love remittance, so we can't talk in that term. The remittance that the Most High is sending that we should be receiving, our oppressor in the form of blessing. Our oppressors are the ones receiving it. You realize Jamaica economy come like it grow since Corona. How comes?
Talk about the remittance coming from foreign and all them things.
No man. Remittance meaning the blessing where the Most High send towards we. It's like the remittance, the oppressor of us.
Yeah, God.
So the blessing will come to them to give to we.
But still on the remittance where I come from foreign I refer to. Where the economy grow.
No, the growth where the economy make is me not think of the remittance. No, sir. But you see them planning to build a highway with they're not without borrowing money. When last they able to do it? And our economy is still have B class, B plus rating. Fall, We have B plus rating, so the taxes are coming in. But then again, money do make, because the money now streamline more to the system.
God, and less to the people.
And less to the people.
God.
So they will make more money.
So like yes, sir. So in other words, the economy have nothing to do with we.
You don't look so. Well, you would think benefit you make when you go to hospital and you drive on the road and you buy the gas, whether the gas high or low. Yeah. But basically you're outside the economy.
Yeah.
But we were benefiting from money outside the economy.
Yeah.
But this lockdown suck out the little money that would have been in our kind of economy. Little poor man had circulate money amongst himself. They suck out now and gone in because of supermarkets and so.
Yeah.
Make the money. Because now rather than you go buy a food, well, now you can buy it, but during the lockdown, you have to cook at your yard.
Yeah.
And for you to cook at home, you have to buy. Whether you go to the liquor shop or you go to the supermarket, the liquor shop buy from the wholesale. So everything now streamlined to the economy. So them have growth.
They get money. Benefit them.
That's why them are continue with it.
That's why the lockdown is so urgent for lockdown.
They want to make sure now that supplies can come in.
Yeah.
So you can't lock the ports again. But you can lock the streets.
Yeah.
Right.
It work out for them in every kind of way.
Work out for them, man. But this is what the Most High is talking about here in 2nd Esdras. We are being led as a lamb to the slaughter. We don't see these things happening. We know in the U.P.K have to be the watchman and point it out to the people.
Right.
But many of them eyes still closed. All right, go to 2nd Peter now.
Another one can.
Close off with 2nd Peter.
Another one can.
2nd Peter chapter 1, 3 to 10.
Another one can. This is 2nd Peter chapter 1 verse 3. According as his divine power has given unto us all things that pertain unto life and godliness through the knowledge of him that has called us to glory and virtue.
All right, so we are aware that boy is the remnant the Most High going to take up and don't kill. So what's the best thing for you to do?
You're part of the remnant.
You're part of the remnant.
God.
That's the safest thing you can do. Make sure you are in the remnant. So Peter here now, even though he never give you the word as remnant, but him tell us make your selection sure, make your election sure. So it's one way your election can be sure, unless you're in the remnant.
God.
So him tell you what to do here. Verse 4.
God, verse 4. Whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust.
All right. Lust is what breeds sin.
God.
And sin is what gets you in to not be in the remnant. So I'm telling you now how to avoid them sins, how to avoid loss. 5.
God, verse 5. And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge.
Right. What is virtue?
Virtue is like your ability.
All right. Let us see. Spell it again. V-I-R.
Gotcha. V-I-R-T.
T-U-E.
T-U-E. God.
Behavior showing high moral standards.
Okay. God.
All right. So have high moral standards. And to your high moral standard, what should you add?
And to virtue, knowledge.
Or you add knowledge to virtue. Or you add knowledge to yourself.
By reading, studying, and learning from, you know what I mean?
Right. And when you speak,
I.S.U.P.K.
When you speak from a vantage point of what is in the Bible.
God.
That is the knowledge. So we have to add to our high moral standard the fact that we know what we are saying.
God.
All right. And to that, what should we add else? 6.
Verse 6. And to knowledge, temperance.
And what is temperance?
Temperance.
Temperance. Abstinence from alcohol. Okay, abstinence.
So abstinence, basically.
This is abstinence from alcoholic drink.
God. But I know that.
No, this is referred to abstinence from sin.
God.
So abstinence from breaking the law.
God.
So we have to add temperance. Where is it? Oh, verse 1.
Verse 6, that is.
And to knowledge. So we have to have high moral standard. We have to be knowledgeable. We have to resist temptation. And to temperance, what else?
God. And to temperance, patience.
Which means that you have to be patient.
God.
This is not an overnight work. Right?
God.
Yeah, Jerusalem wasn't built in a day. Takes time. And to patience.
And to patience, godliness.
Right. So we need godliness too. And what else?
God, verse 7. And to godliness, brotherly kindness.
So we have to remember what God teaches us about brotherhood. God. Brotherly kindness. And to
brotherly kindness, charity.
And charity is what?
Charity is when, you know what I mean, you help others. Like, what they call it? The word I'm looking for. Alms, when you do alms.
Right.
God.
But it is also a kindness and tolerance in judging others. Right? So it's not only giving you something. Charity is also being kind to each other with our ways.
God.
It says how we judge each other. That is charity. So in other words, they say, all right, now judge him too hard. That's being charitable. What else?
Another one can. Verse 8. For if these things be in you and abound, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach.
All right. So you lack in these things, you become barren in Christ. Means that you can't teach nobody about Christ.
Good.
But you having these things, you are fruitful. People can look upon you and think, oh, the brother looks so, you know, someone be like him. You understand?
Good.
You have to possess these qualities. You know, this is not mentioned about keeping the laws yet. This is talking about the person. Right? This is talking about the fisherman. Not talking about the bait yet and what you're going to do with the fish if you're going to catch it. It's talking about you, preparing you, the fisherman, to go and fish. Verse, what now, 9?
Good. Verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
But he that lacketh these things is blind
Mm-hmm.
and cannot see afar off,
Mm-hmm.
and has forgotten that he was purged from his old sins.
Right. So you lack these things, boy, you can't sit down the line. Right? The brother who you see today, who is not in the truth. A little while later, him say, "Man, how come be your brother, you know?" And you did treat him bad as so. There is need, and now he come be your brother. It's like you have a little man where you used to treat bad, and then the man there. Yeah, nobody at school where you used to bully. You ever bully nobody at school? All right, think of you bullying somebody at school and then him come turn your boss. I that you have it on the bus, you go to the police and you get caught up, you get caught up in that traffic stop. My word. So in all the things you do, bear in mind, this man, you'll meet him again down the road. You never know. And you might just meet him when the system start collapse. And you need female, right? Or you have to go be a lighthouse unto him. He's not going to want to see you because remember the bad ways you used to treat him. You understand? Yeah. So this is what? This is Peter preparing the person. Right? Before you go out there to fish. So coming in the UPK is not, you're coming today and a fisherman tomorrow. Coming in the UPK, you have to prepare the person, prepare the brother to be that priest, to be that fisherman. So that you can say, yeah. Oh, yeah, you weren't in major council time. And him call up Arban, Officer Arban, and say, yeah, you going over Canada, you going to blah, blah, blah. Because he was prepared to be that fisherman. So that is how you can now call a brother and send him over a city. And I want him to report back to you what is happening because he was prepared to be a fisherman. He can now catch. Blue marlin is a unclean fish, but the technique in catching those fish is not the regular fishing. He can now catch blue marlin. He can now catch big fish. Understand? Right. Verse 10.
Verse 10. Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall.
Questions? These are what you do to make your election sure. You notice, you don't mention keeping the laws. It's the person, preparing the person, right? You can say the laws now because him talk about patience and godliness, right?
And temperance.
Right, but he never specifically mentioned the laws because yes, the laws is important, very important. But this is now the Most High putting you through the fire to make you like pure gold. So it's not the laws that going to make you be pure gold, you know. It's you, the personality that you're going to develop, which is a righteous personality, right? Think of the angels. You know what you always say, something bad we say, but bad like a Yaz. The angels, them are some badass, you know. But they're not allowing them personal feeling to get in the way and just come in and say, yeah, what, you can't treat the Most High people so. They can, but then they will be breaking orders, don't. So some things you make it go on because you know the orders yet to do anything about it. So in other words, you, the person, have to be prepared. While everybody out there is dropping on and thinking, you know, that is the truth they require to make them grow. You come in the UPK and they say, don't teach. You scratch it and you say, you mean not teach? Look on my virgin man, I'm dead and sitting, you know, but the teach for sure I go teach him. No, you have to prepare yourself first. Them demons are going to charge you up and spit you out like I don't know what. Prepare yourself before you go out. This is what Peter is doing here. He said, this is how you make your selection sure. And he don't mention anything about going out there and teach or going out there and preach. We know that you have to do that. But before you even do that, you have to understand what is out there. And you have to understand more so you. Because we are in this situation. Not because of what is out there, no. But because of what? Tell me.
The situation.
Because of us, what we were in, what was inside us.
God.
We did not develop the proper these things, temperance and so on, towards each other and towards the Most High. So that's why we are in this situation today. So we have to fix this so that we can fix others. True or false?
True. Come.
All right, questions?
Yeah.
All right. With that, pass the class. Time well spent. Pass class to police and officer. Police and officer in training, Officer Kayadwan.
All right, clap it up.
Hold on.
These are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes into the school, there are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3 verse 8 to 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'aishara. 10% of every penny or any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation, Passover. This is on the 14th day of the first month, you know what I mean? And this Passover is at 24th of April and will be held at Houston, Texas. You know what I mean? You can check on I.S.U.P.K social media for more information. The Passover can be found in the Bible in Exodus 12 verse 1 to 51, Leviticus 23, verse 4 to 5, 1 Corinthians 5, 7 to 8, and 2 Chronicles 30 and 17. Reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which include black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And we're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, Amajum, which means to stand. Turn and face the east. Abanawa, Shabashamayam, Korash, Aya, Shamka, Yahawa, Malakwatka, Tabaha, Batazaika, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Washamaya, Nathan, Lanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Lanawa, Kawabwat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawabwat Yanawa, Wala, Kabaya Anawa, Manasayawa, Abad, Awashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwat, Wa'ala, Watapara, the Iwalamyam, Ama.
In English, Our Father which art in heaven.
Our Father which art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come,
Thy will be done in earth
thy will be done in earth
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread,
Give us this day our daily bread,
and forgive us our debts,
and forgive us our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not into temptation,
but deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom,
For thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it.
For the curses, blessed are you, Yahweh,
Blessed are you, Yahweh,
King of heaven and earth,
King of heaven and earth,
and all things living.
and all things.
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh,
in the name of Yahweh,
listen to us now,
listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction
and punishment and destruction
to the heathen
to the heathen
that speak against us,
that speak against us,
thy prophets,
thy
the
prophets,
teachers, the
teachers,
princes, the
princes,
priests,
priests,
the Israelite brothers and the school.
the Israelite brothers and the schools.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction
and punishment and
to
destruction
the heathen,
to the heathen,
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel
and shake loose the treasures of the rich of
that
Israel,
refuse to give to the school.
that refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses,
Send evils and curses,
and punishment and destruction
and punishment and destruction
to the Edomites,
to the Edomites,
and the nations,
and the nation,
and their drug dealers,
and their drug dealers,
the court system,
the court
the
system,
prison system,
the prison system,
Planned Parenthood,
Planned Parenthood,
all the government of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Amalek synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads,
Skinhead,
Posse Comitatus,
Posse Comitatus,
the gay movement,
the gay
the
movement,
lesbian movement,
the lesbian movement,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space program,
NASA space program,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the internet
open up the internet
and the airways,
and the
the
airway,
cable access channel
cable access channel,
and the radio channel.
and the radio channel.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
that seek to stop
that
us
seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the heathen
that stand in the way
that stand in the way
or try to stop us
or try to stop us
from broadcasting your word
from broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues,
Let loose all the plagues,
cause them to go to and fro
cause them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth,
and consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plagues shake
Let the plague shake
the house of the thief
the house of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murderer.
Let Yahweh
Let Yahweh,
Michael and Gabriel
Michael and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucer
come down with the flying saucers
and punish all the heathen
and punish all the heathen
that come up against
that
us
come up against us
as we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that it is the angels that hath done.
that is the angel that hath done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media,
Cause it to be spread throughout the media,
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy
In
coming.
the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you always, so be.
Thank you always, so be it. Alright, this is the prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem, Yahushai,
Basham Yahweh.
Baba Kwasha,
Babakusha.
Nathan Lanawa,
Nathan Lanao.
Akak,
Akak.
Akak,
Akak.
Larapa,
Larapa.
Kalmakala,
Kalmakala.
Wakalmadawa,
Kalmadawa.
Akak,
Akak.
Lata'ar,
Lata.
Amatazaria,
Amatazaria.
Akak,
Akak.
Lahakwaya,
Lahakwaya.
Hamatayam,
Amatyam.
Akak,
Akak.
Irakawa,
Irakawa.
Atamala,
Atamala.
Lagarashan,
Agarashan.
Bahashem,
Basham.
Yahushai,
Yahweh.
Tawada Aman.
Tawala. In English, Yahweh in the name of Yahweh.
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the leper.
Power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
Power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
Thank you, so be.
Thank you, so be it. Alright, one courtesy salute to the teacher. Turn and face the teacher. Amajum Shabbat. Amajum Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Barakatah.
Yahweh Basham Yahushai Barakatam.
Yadamata. One courtesy salute to the sister. Amajum Shabbat. Amajum Barak. Yahweh Shema
Yahweh Shema Alatan, Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai.
Yadamata. Class dismissed.
All right, online persons, remember to pay your tithes. We ask that you find us on YouTube and subscribe. Thank you.